The human journey is often defined not by the moments of easy triumph, but by the quiet resilience forged in the depths of anticipation and unspoken longing. In a world that moves at a relentless pace, where public lives are meticulously curated and private struggles are frequently hidden behind a veneer of effortless perfection, there are stories that demand we pause and reflect on the profound nature of hope. For those who watch life unfold under the bright and unforgiving glare of the public eye, the boundaries between reality and perception can become blurred, yet the core human emotions of grief, expectation, and ultimate joy remain universally powerful. This narrative begins not with a sudden burst of celebration, but with the slow, deliberate passage of time that characterizes a family waiting on the threshold of a profound transformation, preparing to welcome new life while carrying the heavy emotional weight of the past. It is a story about the quiet spaces between milestones, the tender interactions that happen when the cameras are turned off, and the deep, anchoring strength that individuals find in one another when they navigate the unpredictable waters of love and loss. As we begin to explore this deeply personal yet resonant journey, we invite you to become a part of our growing community by subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications, ensuring you never miss the deeply moving stories, detailed breakdowns, and exclusive insights we bring you every single week. To understand the magnitude of the chapter that is currently unfolding, one must first look at the foundation upon which this family was built, a structure defined by a unique blend of public fascination and deeply private devotion. When a well-known media personality, celebrated for navigating the complex and often dramatic world of reality television, finds true partnership with someone who shares a vision of a deeply rooted, expansive family life, the stage is set for a narrative that captures the hearts of millions. Yet, behind the headlines and the social media updates lies a quiet reality that is much more relatable than the public might initially assume. For months, the atmosphere surrounding this household has been one of intense, breathless anticipation, a period marked by careful preparation and a deliberate effort to remain grounded in the present moment. The parents, already blessed with the chaotic and beautiful energy of a 2-year-old toddler, found themselves standing on the precipice of a massive expansion, knowing that their lives were about to change in ways they could scarcely fully comprehend. Even as they meticulously organized nurseries and compiled baby books to preserve the fleeting memories of this transitional era, this period of waiting was not merely about practical preparation. It was a profound emotional exercise in savoring the final chapters of life as a family of 3. The dynamics of a household with a single young child are unique, filled with specific rhythms, shared jokes, and a concentrated form of parental attention that shifts dramatically when new siblings arrive. Recognizing the fleeting nature of this specific phase, the parents made a conscious, concerted effort to immerse themselves fully in the daily life of their firstborn daughter, River Rose, ensuring that she felt entirely secure and cherished before the grand arrival. They spent their afternoons engaging in simple, unhurried routines, reading stories, playing in the backyard, and allowing the days to stretch out with a deliberate slowness that contrasted sharply with the fast-paced nature of their professional obligations. The father, a man whose public persona is often characterized by sharp wit and analytical commentary, found himself completely softened by these quiet moments. Observing his young daughter with a sense of wonder and noting with a mixture of surprise and pride that she seemed to possess an almost instinctive understanding that something monumental was shifting within their family structure. Yet, beneath this serene surface of domestic harmony lay a complex tapestry of emotional history that gave this particular period of waiting a poignant, almost sacred quality. The journey to expanding their family had not been a straightforward path of easy success. Instead, it was a road marked by profound, private heartbreaks that the couple had only recently begun to share openly with their audience. The anticipation of new life is always a powerful experience, but when that anticipation follows a season of deep loss, every kick, every ultrasound appointment, and every passing week takes on an entirely different level of significance. The couple carried with them the memory of what had been lost, an emotional inheritance that made them fiercely protective of the present and deeply grateful for the health and vitality of the life currently developing. This shared history of resilience created an unspoken bond of solidarity between the partners, an understanding that they were navigating a landscape where joy and vulnerability were inextricably linked, requiring them to lean heavily on one another for strength and reassurance as the expected due date drew closer. As the weeks advanced, the public interest in their journey began to intensify, with fans and commentators parsing every social media post every podcast episode, and every public appearance for clues about what the future held for this expanding family. In the modern media landscape, the boundary between an influencer's private life and their public audience is constantly shifting, creating a unique environment where personal milestones are celebrated by thousands of strangers worldwide. This external attention added a layer of complexity to their preparation, forcing the couple to balance their desire for privacy with their commitment to authenticity, a balancing act they managed with a sophisticated blend of humor and candid honesty. They understood that their story had come to represent something larger than themselves for many of those watching, serving as a beacon of hope for individuals navigating similar paths of expectation and recovery, which only heightened the sense of importance surrounding the quiet, preparatory days they were sharing in the seclusion of their home. The physical preparation of their living space served as a tangible manifestation of the emotional journey they were undergoing, a way to anchor their hopes in concrete reality. Updating the nursery was not just a matter of interior design or assembling furniture. It was an act of faith, a deliberate creation of space for the individuals who would soon occupy it and redefine the family's entire world. Every choice, from the color palettes to the arrangement of the cribs, was infused with intentionality and a deep respect for family heritage, honoring the lineages that had brought both parents to this specific point in their lives. While the mother dedicated her energy to organizing the baby books and ensuring that the historical records of their family would be beautifully preserved for the generations to come, the father focused on maintaining an environment of calm stability, ensuring that the daily life of their firstborn remained uninterrupted by the looming wave of monumental change. This harmonious division of labor reflected a partnership that had been tested and strengthened by adversity, preparing them for the ultimate test of sleepless nights and multiplied responsibilities. Now, as the final days of this preparatory chapter began to wane, the sense of immediacy and impending transformation became palpable within the walls of their home. The long months of waiting, planning, and emotional processing were converging toward a single definitive moment that would alter the trajectory of their lives forever, transforming them from a trio into a bustling family of 5. The atmosphere was thick with a mixture of nervous excitement and profound reverence, a collective holding of breath as they prepared to step through the threshold of expectation into the reality of fulfillment. The story of this family, which had already captured the imagination of so many through its public chapters, was quietly preparing to enter its most significant phase yet, a testament to the enduring power of hope, the strength of familial love, and the beautiful, unpredictable ways in which life can rebuild itself after the storm, leaving the world watching and waiting for the moment the silence would finally be broken. The transition from a period of quiet, protective waiting to the sudden, overwhelming reality of a major life milestone is a moment where time seems to simultaneously stand still and accelerate at an uncontrollable pace. For Nick Viall and Natalie Joy, that definitive shift materialized on the 30th of June, a date that will forever be etched into the history of their family as the day their world expanded exponentially. The arrival of twin daughters, whom they beautifully named Iris Parker and Dove Tomlin, marked the official transformation of their household into a bustling family of 5, turning what had once been a distant dream into a vivid, exhausting, and deeply rewarding reality. When the couple finally shared the news with the world on the following Friday, releasing a joint Instagram post featuring 2 intimate, black and white photographs of the newborns, the response from the public was an immediate, overwhelming wave of emotion and support. These images, capturing the raw, unpolished beauty of the immediate postpartum period, showed Natalie cradling her 2 new daughters, declaring to her followers that she was quite literally in heaven. A sentiment that resonated deeply with anyone who understood the grueling physical and emotional journey she had just completed. The choice to introduce Iris and Dove through such simple, colorless photography was a deliberate departure from the often overly stylized and perfectly staged announcements that dominate the social media landscapes of modern celebrities. It allowed the focus to remain entirely on the pure humanity of the moment, highlighting the delicate features of the infants and the profound look of exhaustion mixed with absolute triumph on their mother's face. For Nick, observing his wife navigate the complex reality of delivering twins and instantly stepping into the role of a mother of 3 was an experience that filled him with an entirely new level of reverence and love. He watched as their 2-year-old firstborn daughter, River Rose, reacted to the sudden presence of her 2 younger sisters. Noting with a mixture of awe and amusement that the toddler shockingly seemed to comprehend the gravity of what was happening around her. Instead of the jealousy or confusion that many parents expect when introducing a toddler to newborns, River displayed a gentle curiosity, a tender intuition that suggested she was fully prepared to embrace her new responsibilities as an older sister. A development that brought an immense sense of relief and joy to her parents during an otherwise chaotic transition. However, to truly understand why the birth of Iris and Dove evoked such an intense, emotional reaction from both the parents and their millions of followers, one must look closely at the specific language used in their announcement. Specifically, the emotional declaration where they labeled the twins as their long-awaited rainbow babies. In the lexicon of modern parenthood, the term rainbow baby carries a profound, bittersweet weight, representing a child born unto a family after the devastating darkness of a miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss. It is a metaphor that does not erase the pain of the storm that came before, but rather acknowledges that light and beauty can still emerge after a period of intense grief. By choosing to use this specific terminology so prominently in their public caption, Nick and Natalie were deliberately opening a window into a deeply painful chapter of their shared history, shedding light on a private struggle that they had largely kept hidden from the public eye during the actual moments of its occurrence. It was only in the preceding August that the couple had courageously chosen to reveal the true extent of the emotional trials they had faced behind the scenes, disclosing to their audience that Natalie had suffered 3 consecutive miscarriages over the course of the year 25. For a young couple navigating the early years of marriage and the demanding responsibilities of raising a toddler, experiencing 3 distinct losses in such a short span of time was a crushing blow that tested their resilience, their faith, and their partnership to its absolute limits. Each loss brought with it a unique wave of grief, a silent mourning for a future that would never realize itself, and a growing sense of anxiety about whether they would ever be able to successfully expand their family again. The physical toll on Natalie's body, combined with the emotional exhaustion shared by both partners, created a season of profound vulnerability, making the subsequent discovery that they were expecting twins not just a medical surprise, but an almost miraculous turning point in their lives, rendering the eventual healthy arrival of Iris and Dove extra special and deeply symbolic of their survival through that emotional wilderness. This background of profound loss also serves to explain the intense scrutiny and occasional controversy that surrounded the couple during the pregnancy, particularly regarding a highly publicized gender reveal video that had sparked significant debate among their followers in February. In the contentious arena of social media commentary, viewers are often quick to judge public figures based on fleeting expressions or perceived reactions, and many critics had accused Nick of looking visibly disappointed when it was revealed that they were expecting 2 more girls, assuming he desperately wanted a son. Addressing these accusations directly on an episode of their popular podcast, The Viall Files, the couple chose to dismantle the narrative with their characteristic candor and humor. Natalie stepped forward to reveal a truth that many social media consumers often forget, stating clearly that almost everything seen on digital platforms is carefully curated or performative, and admitting that they had actually known the genders of the twins long before filming the video. The entire sequence had been an act for the cameras, meaning it was factually impossible for Nick to have been genuinely disappointed by the final balloon pop because he was already fully aware of the reality. Nick utilized that same podcast platform to reiterate his absolute excitement about becoming father to 3 daughters, forcefully shutting down any lingering speculation that he felt slighted by not having a boy. He expressed that the prospect of raising 3 women was an incredible privilege, describing his firstborn, River, as an absolute dream and a constant blessing in his life, who had already shown him the profound joy of being a girl dad, while he lightheartedly acknowledged that having a son in the future would certainly be a great experience if it ever happened. His focus was entirely centered on the immense gratitude he felt for the 2 healthy lives that were about to enter their world. He shared a poignant, intimate anecdote that beautifully captured his emotional state during the latter stages of the pregnancy, recalling a moment when he was walking down the stairway of their home and looked down to see young River staring up at him with wide, innocent eyes. In that precise moment, Natalie's mother turned to him and gently remarked that he should prepare himself, because very soon he would have 3 pairs of little eyes looking up at him in exactly that same way. A comment that Nick admitted completely melted his heart and solidified his eagerness for the journey ahead. This period of public clarification and private preparation highlighted the maturity with which the couple was approaching their expanding role as they were no longer just a high-profile couple navigating the entertainment industry. They were parents who had been refined by suffering, determined to protect the emotional integrity of their home from the cynical distortions of the internet. As the birth date approached, they found themselves contemplating the unique dynamics of having 3 daughters born so remarkably close in age, visualizing a future where the sisters would grow up as an inseparable trio. Navigating the challenges of childhood and adolescence together with River leading the way as the protective, experienced older sibling. The logistical challenges of managing twins alongside a toddler were undeniably daunting, but the overwhelming sense of gratitude for the health of Iris and Dove completely overshadowed any anxieties about sleepless nights or multiplied workloads. The narrative of their family had successfully transitioned from one of silent heartbreak to one of vibrant, chaotic, and undeniable fulfillment, setting the stage for a future where the lessons of the past would serve as the foundation for an exceptionally resilient household. The culmination of a long, arduous journey marked by both devastating loss and profound hope is rarely just about the arrival at a destination. It is about the profound transformation of the travelers themselves. For Nick Viall and Natalie Joy, the arrival of Iris Parker and Dove Tomlin on that quiet summer day of June 30th was not simply addition to their family census, but a monumental vindication of their shared endurance. A moment that closed the door on a season of intense grief and opened a vibrant new chapter of domestic fulfillment. As the initial dust begins to settle around their newly expanded household, the deeper significance of this event becomes clearer, highlighting the intricate ways in which family legacy, personal growth, and public vulnerability intersect to create a story that resonates far beyond the confines of reality television or social media feeds. The birth of these twin daughters represents a powerful reminder that the narratives we construct about our lives are often defined by how we handle the unexpected, how we heal in the aftermath of trauma, and how we choose to honor the roots that sustain us through the most turbulent storms. One of the most meaningful aspects of this new chapter lies in the intentionality behind the names chosen for the twins, a decision that serves as a permanent, living bridge between the past, the present, and the future of both familial lineages. By selecting Parker and Tomlin as the middle names for Iris and Dove, Nick and Natalie chose to bypass temporary trends in favor of deeply rooted historical significance, drawing directly from the maternal and paternal sides of their respective families. In doing so, they have ensured that these 2 new lives are immediately anchored in a sense of heritage, carrying forward the names of ancestors who contributed to the very fabric of who their parents are today. This deliberate nod to their ancestral backgrounds reinforces the idea that a family is not an isolated unit, but a continuous, evolving chain of generations, where each new child inherits not just biological traits, but a legacy of resilience, love, and shared values that will guide them as they navigate their own journeys through life. For Nick Viall, whose personal evolution has been documented by the public for over a decade, this transition into being a father of 3 girls marks a profound and beautiful shift in his life story. Once known to millions as a perennial bachelor navigating the hyper-dramatized world of reality dating franchises, his journey has been one of continuous reinvention, moving from the often superficial world of television stardom to the deeply grounded, vulnerable reality of modern fatherhood and media entrepreneurship. The sharp, analytical mind that made him a compelling television personality and a successful podcaster has now been entirely redirected toward the complex, rewarding task of raising 3 distinct individuals alongside a partner he deeply respects. He has frequently spoken about how the reality of fatherhood completely reordered his priorities, stripping away the ego and self-absorption that often accompany fame, and replacing them with a fierce, protective devotion to the well-being of his daughters. A transformation that has earned him a new level of respect from an audience that has watched him mature in real time. Natalie Joy's journey is equally compelling, representing a masterclass in quiet strength, grace, and maternal resilience under the unrelenting gaze of the digital world, navigating a high-profile relationship while establishing her own identity, and simultaneously enduring the physical and emotional trauma of 3 consecutive miscarriages, requires a depth of character that standard social media metrics can never fully measure. Her willingness to be open about the realities of postpartum recovery, the emotional complexities of raising a rainbow baby, and the chaotic truth of managing twins alongside a 2-year-old toddler has established her as a remarkably authentic voice for a generation of mothers searching for genuine connection online. Her declaration of being in heaven while cradling her newborns was not an erasure of the pain that preceded them, but an authentic celebration of survival. A testament to the capacity of the human spirit to expand and find absolute joy even after being hollowed out by repeated heartbreak, the presence of River Rose, now a big sister at just 2 years old, introduces a fascinating and heartwarming dynamic to this unfolding family narrative, creating an environment where the girls will grow up with an unparalleled level of closeness and mutual support. The early years of raising 3 children born so remarkably close in age will undoubtedly bring an array of logistical challenges, from chronic sleep deprivation to the chaotic management of multiple schedules. Yet the long-term rewards of this unique sibling bond are immense. Nick and Natalie have actively embraced this upcoming challenge, visualizing a future where their home is constantly filled with the vibrant energy, shared laughter, and deep camaraderie of 3 sisters who will navigate the milestones of youth, adolescence, and adulthood as an unbreakable team, with River serving as a steady, experienced anchor for her younger siblings as they explore the world together, beyond the immediate boundaries of their home. The story of the Viall family serves an important societal function by actively destigmatizing the painful conversations surrounding pregnancy loss and the emotional complexities of fertility journeys. Miscarriage remains a deeply painful, frequently isolated experience for millions of couples worldwide, often shrouded in a culture of silence and unexpressed grief that leaves individuals feeling profoundly alone in their suffering. By using their massive public platforms to openly discuss their losses in 25, and by subsequently celebrating Iris and Dove as their rainbow babies, Nick and Natalie have contributed to a larger, necessary cultural conversation about the reality of reproductive struggles. They have shown their audience that it is entirely possible to simultaneously hold space for the grief of what was lost while fully embracing the joy of what has been gained, providing comfort and a sense of shared community to countless individuals who are currently navigating their own difficult paths toward parenthood. As this report concludes, the image that remains most potent is one of a family that has been entirely remade, not by avoiding the hardships of life, but by confronting them together with an unwavering commitment to honesty, partnership, and hope. The journey of Nick Viall and Natalie Joy from a high-profile couple into a grounded, resilient family of 5 is a narrative that ultimately transcends the celebrity culture from which it emerged, offering a universal message about the enduring power of familial love and the capacity of the human heart to rebuild itself after devastation. The nursery is now full, the baby books are being filled with new, joyful entries, and the quiet spaces of their home are now occupied by the beautiful, chaotic symphony of 3 young lives growing together under the watchful, devoted eyes of parents who know exactly how precious every single moment truly is, leaving their audience to wish them nothing but peace, strength, and continued happiness as they embark on this magnificent adventure of a lifetime.